Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome to our latest webcast that we're bringing you from Travel Weekly as part of our Roadmap to Recovery series. And as you can all see, I'm joined today by Jo Rzymowska, who is, of course, the Managing Director for the UK and Ireland at Celebrity Cruises. So hello, Jo, how are you?
I'm good, Lucy. I'm good. There's been some positive streaks recently. So, yeah, definitely
All
light
right.
at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. Well, we'll come on to talk
Yeah,
about that. I'd be really interested to know your thoughts and on those things, which I know you're referring to. But look, the news this week from your camp has been
yeah.
around a new sort of pricing proposition, always
Mhm.
included. Now we've written about that. We've got the bones of it, Jo. But I'm really interested to know uh, what's driven that, because I know this has come from months of sort of real deep dive research into your customer base and working
Yeah,
with a gentleman in the UK. So
yeah.
you talk us through it and tell us why you're doing it and why it's so important and why agents should understand this.
Great. Thanks very much, Lucy. You're right. So during this 7 months that we've been, can we believe it, in pause, so to speak, as well as the army of work that's going on from a healthy return to service, which is significant. We wanted to take this time to look at where we take the brand to. And this really has very much come about with the introduction of the Edge series into the brand, the feedback that we were getting overall from that proposition and the holidays, and also with introducing the retreat, our suite class
Yeah.
proposition across the fleet as well. So, as Church always said, don't let a good crisis go to waste. So we said, let's take this time to really talk to existing customers, to future customers as well, and to our trade partners, and really understand what is really important to them in what we're terming a new luxury holiday.
Okay.
And one of the key things, it's quite interesting that there's a recent article, there's lots of articles now about new luxury. It's more about being inclusive than exclusive. It used to be about a badge, what you're wearing, who you are, whereas actually more and more now it's about what you're standing for and what you're doing. And I think, as a brand, inclusivity is really key to us.
Absolutely.
We walk the talk. We do an awful lot from that point of view to make sure that we are making sure that guests globally and far and wide, or consumers, understand what Celebrity Cruises stands for and how they're going to be treated on holiday, and the equality that we have throughout. Within that, as we started to do the research, and this is more about attitude, but age does come into it. And we did a big look at the baby boomers, which I am one, so I can insult myself. The Gen Xers, which I think you might be in.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
the 64 to 85s. I thought you were a good old millennial. You see, Lucy.
Sadly not.
And within a certain affluence bracket, because we absolutely provide quality holidays. And out of lots of things, one of the key things that they said is the complexity about cruising and the sort of schizophrenic behavior about, if there's a Y in the week, this is included. If it's that month, this is included. And based on that, we've looked at this before, and it is complex. But one of the things that they said is simplicity is key. And actually, the more inclusive you make it in the nature of a holiday, but also as to how we purchase it, the easier it is and the more enjoyable it is to understand.
Can get quite confusing, can't it? If you're, and I know
Right,
you're that's the example you gave there of why and the month and everything, but actually there are different grades, there's different cabin categories and all the rest of it, and it can be
right,
confusing. So this
right.
this simplicity is important for anyone. But then why are you saying it's so important to the luxury customer so much?
Because we've had lots of that feedback, and in fact, if you look now, we've been looking at the forums. We only announced this yesterday, and I've just done a webinar before I came on with all of the CEOs and MDs of the trade, and we're getting really positive feedback.
Okay.
Very much so. I think the other thing is so what we did is, from a pricing strategy point of view, I think what's important, this isn't a promotion, this isn't an offer. This is now Celebrity Cruises, always included, every room, every sailing, every category. So the best way in which I explain it is the iPhone scenario. A great brand, simple, easy to understand. The iPhone 11 is now our entry price, always included.
Yeah.
The iPhone 11 Pro is then for £25 more per day. You can upgrade to our Elevate package.
Yeah.
The always included package now is drinks, tips, and Wi-Fi. The Elevate package is the same, but it gives you the next category of drinks, the premium drinks. You then move on to my analogy of the iPhone 11 Pro Max. You get Indulge, which is stream Wi-Fi, so Netflix, unlimited, everything that you want to do on holiday from a streaming point of view, connecting with family back at home, together with the premium drinks and together with shore excursion as well. Brilliant. And then the ultimate, the iPhone 12, recently launched, is the retreat. So both stay in the suite.
You get that all as standard.
Everything as standard and more. All of your complimentary speciality dining.
You've spoken to agents. Yes. Already this morning. I mean, I know it was only announced yesterday. They're probably digesting it, but actually, it's quite simple, isn't it? There's only 3 levels. You either book them in the retreat and they get it, or you got Indulge, or you got Elevate. So are they finding that as a proposition to have to go and sell to their customers something that's quite attractive?
Absolutely. So the feedback that I've had now, and I haven't had a chance to say to people, can I use names, is bold move, but smart move. Absolutely right for the luxury audience. We've been crying out. We believe that others will follow. Let's see, but we're focused on what we do. And I just want to be clear again that this is now Celebrity Cruises always included from here on in going forward.
And you mentioned Edge and Apex and stuff there, but this is across all the fleet, is it? It's not
across
just
the whole fleet.
Yeah. Okay.
So every ship.
It's been driven by the advances you've made through Edge and Apex and that class of ship. But you're saying this is now, whatever their agents are selling, this is available.
Correct. And the starting point now for every holiday that you sell on Celebrity Cruises throughout the year on all of our 14 ships is going to be including Wi-Fi, drinks and tips. And for £25 extra per day, you can upgrade your drinks, upgrade your Wi-Fi, and get ShoreX and onboard credit. And in the retreat, you get it all.
And I mean, it is interesting that they're saying other people will follow. But of course, the ultra luxury lines have made everything inclusive, haven't they, for some time? But so do you see this then as moving you even? And you've always said you're a luxury brand, but it's been premium luxury for a while, and then move you more alongside those the ultra luxury lines. Do you think it helps?
Correct. We've absolutely, and one of our sister brands, Silversea, absolutely is in that ultra luxury space. But you're quite right. This is more we see moving ourselves from premium into what we're sort of looking at more of a category of one, this new luxury proposition. Because as you know, our properties are larger. But as I always say to people, Jumeirah has larger properties. One and Only has larger properties. But they are absolutely within the luxury category. And that's what we're really trying to make sure that our travel partners sell us correctly, talk about us correctly. We're going to be providing them with an awful lot of toolkits to enable them to do that. We've got great digital imagery coming out. We've got great assets coming out, which is all about more space, more luxury, and really helping them in selling that message to their consumers, and the simplicity of the message as well.
And when the agents that said it's a bold move, why do they say that? What could be the possible drawbacks if they're saying it's quite bold on celebrities' behalf?
Because I think probably when you are a larger property, you need to think about it more than when you're a smaller property.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's one of the areas, and doing it across all categories as well. Very often, again, there's certain limitations.
Yeah. Okay.
So all right. I think that to me is one of the key areas.
And obviously they're saying it's a good thing. And what do you hope this will do, especially in the context of where we are at the moment? Obviously bookings are not where we want them to be, and we understand that. But do you think that people can get their heads around this? Agents can start selling it in this period, even though we are in lockdown, and they can. Do you think it will help drive your recovery?
We absolutely do. We think it's a good, positive new message. And we think it's a simple message. And even though at the moment that we are in this period where we're not sailing, we are in a period where we are still selling, albeit not as much as we do. But I think that then moves on to what we're seeing in the world now. And we do feel confident that there is light at the end of the tunnel with the work that we're doing across the industry, guided by the great work that Andy and the Clear team are doing, and also globally with Clear as an industry. We've committed to the 100% testing. We are working closely with the CDC, albeit it's now conditional. The no sale order has been lifted. And we're having really good conversations here with Robert Courts in particular, who's really supportive from the Maritime Minister side. And, you know, there was some talk yesterday, as you probably saw in the press as well. So we are confident with what we're doing, albeit that the R rate is still where it is. So we need to understand that. What we want to do is start building consumer confidence of selling, even though we're not currently sailing.
And the timing, I mean, I know you wouldn't have planned this, but the timing of your announcement alongside the announcement from Pfizer around this vaccine, which, you know, has a 93, I think, or 90%,
90% plus,
plus success rate.
Yeah.
I mean, it's coming together at the right time, hopefully, because what we really need is consumer confidence. You just mentioned it there, because yes, that will then lead to sales for when you can start sailing.
Definitely. So are you saying I haven't got a crystal ball? I mean, it was all brilliant, beautifully timed.
I was going to say, I would be very impressed. Well, why don't we just pretend that you did and it was perfect?
No, but you are right, Lisa. We spoke about the timing, and, you know, again, some of the natural thing could be to say, well, let's wait until everything's absolutely clear. Well, we actually said, no, we think there's enough that is happening. And we absolutely said, you can go on and on pushing things back. This has been a lot of work. I've alluded it to you a few times. There's also lots more that we're going to announce that links into our new luxury positioning that's on board, linked to inclusivity versus exclusivity as well. So the always included piece is our pricing proposition within our overall evolution as to where we're taking Celebrity Cruises to as we come back, because
you're hinting at that. What can you give us any more? You're hinting that there's more to come around this inclusivity idea. What any more you can give us?
Not at this stage, but we are that we're going to wait for that until a bit further down the road, until we are ready to make sort of further announcements. But this is part of a journey. This is not just a pricing proposition. I think that's important as well.
Yes, and to reiterate what you said, this is also not a promotion. This is a long term. This is a change in your strategy.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
Correct.
Just back on the vaccine, Jo. I know it's only been a few days, but you have got your finger on the pulse. You've obviously spoken to agents this morning. Yeah. Has there been a slight sort of change in sentiment? Have you noticed, you know, has anyone talked to you about, I'm not saying you've had a rush of bookings on the back of it, but have you seen any kind of sort of more upbeat, more optimism from the market, do you think, on the back of it?
Yes, I think we've seen that without, even though it's a very short time frame. I think the level of success rate when they were first, you know, targeting a 50%, and this is currently at 90%.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I think if I'm right, it's about 43,500 trials that have been done. The fact that they're talking about even pre-Christmas, really now looking at how we execute this with the 10 million that have been committed to the UK market, and then obviously globally. I do think we need to continue to be cautiously optimistic. It's still quite a short time frame. So the longer term immunity, they say, is yet unknown, or any sort of side effects. But it does seem, and we are seeing that, we're seeing that in the markets, right? It does seem to, this is bringing some positivity. And together with the timing of everything that we're doing overall as an industry. But I think the other key thing is testing is absolutely key. And it really is. I think the quarantine side is still really putting consumers off. We need to get to a point where we've got good testing from an airside point of view. As I said, we've committed that as a Clear that we will do 100% testing. And
embarkation and during the cruise as well. You've really committed to a lot of the cruise industry.
But we definitely, there seems to be some real green shoots that are now happening and light at the end of the tunnel. So,
and you mentioned Robert Courts, you know, the Maritime Minister, and the conversations that you're having with him. I know Clear, you know, is close to him and to his department. I mean, of course, the key thing with all those other things, Jo, the testing and quarantines and now a vaccine, but we need the Foreign Office to lift its advisory against Brits cruising. And we were hoping that might come by the end of the year. Just like
Mhm.
you're saying, these vaccines now might be starting to be rolled out before Christmas. So are you still hopeful that we'll get this advisory change by the end of the year, or do you think this now could trip into the new year?
No, we are, as an industry, we are still hopeful, with all the work that, as I said, led by Andy and Claire, and as you know, we've got David Dingle, who's been superb, Stuart Leven from our side, Bud from MSC. There's real collaboration. I don't think we can underestimate again either, you know, the work that Tony's doing from a chair point of view. It's a significant role, these roles. We can't underestimate how the cruise industry, despite the fact that commercially we are highly competitive, when we've got a name like this to get cruising going again, we truly are behaving in a way where there isn't competition from a health and safety point of view or from a lobbying point of view. And, you know, we are getting kudos for how we are working collaboratively, but we do now need the government to stop treating cruise differently, to treat us as part of the overall travel industry. We understand there's a pandemic. We understand that health and safety is number one, but don't single us out.
Absolutely, well said. But back to you mentioned competition there, Jo. You're always included proposition, which is what we came on to talk about. I mean, that will give you a competitive edge, won't it?
We hope so.
Let's leave it there. I mean, brilliant. Well, it's brilliant. You don't need to say any more. Let's see. The proof will be in the pudding. Let's hope agents really get behind it and you know, start communicating. You said you've got all this material. I know you're always very good with all the you know, the material you send to agents to support them. So that's.
And I'd just like to say that actually, Lucy, just massive thanks to the trade. They are being so supportive. They really are. We know this is just dire for so many of our trade partners and the ongoing scenario, as it is for all of us. But we are there for them. And I'm really, again, and a massive thank you. I'm really proud of my team as well. There's been an awful lot of work. It's kept them engaged and motivated, thinking about something else than just the protocol. So
yeah, and Jo, it's fantastic for us to be reporting on, you know, some new initiatives that, you know, people looking to the future, because we will get out of this. And so, you know, thank you for sparing the time to come on and explain it in such detail, which I'm sure will be really well received by the trade. So thank you, Jo, and best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lucy.